Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside of the White House lawn. My name is Brian Engelman, and today is Monday, June the 15th, 2026, and this right here, the thing that you are watching, is called the TNAM Daily Show. Larger. The TNAM Daily Show here on the new American media, because the old American media failed you. We're going to discuss one of America's birthday parties. How was it? Did you watch? We're going to talk about UFC 250. Is there an end of the war in Iran? And of course, two champions in American sports. The NHL has a new champion for this year, and so does the NBA, basketball and hockey. So buckle up, buttercups. The TNAM Daily Show starts now.
Your guide to the truth, thenewamericanmedia.com.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here on Rumble. Thanks for being here on YouTube. Those are two of the best places to support this channel. Become monthly subscribers for like $5 a month. They take their cut, and I get like $3.85 or something like that. And you help fund independent media, independent journalism. And you get, if you've noticed anything about this show, you get a voice. We read your jokes. Not all of them. We wouldn't, that would be a very different show if all we did was regurgitate what you're saying. But this is a collaborative effort. This is a conversation. I'm Brian, the bartender. We're going to talk about all the stories on the screens behind me. Got to get the angles right. There we go. I think that's the angle I need. But yeah, become a subscriber on YouTube and Rumble. Hello to everybody in those chats. I see those populating right now. Smash the thumbs up button. Hit like, hit subscribe. Share the show with a friend. Remember, on Rumble and YouTube, you can also toss a tip into our tip jar. Rumble rant tips, super chat tips, and consider joining us on Patreon, becoming a monthly subscriber. It's all important. Also, we need a few more subscribers, and then we should theoretically be able to stream this show live on Instagram. So on Instagram, go to The New American Media and hit subscribe. Let's see who's jumping into the bar this fine day. Hello, Mark. Well, Little Bird said it started. Our republic is renewed. Now comes tumult. Wah, wah, wah. Could see a cowboy coming down. Got the hat. Got the 6 shooters at his side. Prepare for the tumult. Hello, Trash Panda, Texas. Happy to have you here. Droopy Dog. What's going on with this, Mark? Breaking news, part of I-70 And I-44 collapses in St. Louis. Let me start with that. It's not trending yet, but let's see. St. Louis Bridge. If there's breaking news, I want to go to it. Let's go ahead and pull this up. What do we got? Follow us on X at American_media_. Side by side. There we go. Soil continuing to slog. Is that how you spell slough? Sluffaluppagus? Into a sinkhole near a pier supporting an elevated section of Interstate 44 in downtown St. Louis. Interstate shut down in both directions. Closed for at least a week. Bridge remains structurally sound. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad we don't have, what's this one? The sinkhole under the bridge. Closures. Okay, at least I'm not having to report on mass casualties. But thank you for letting me know. We always appreciate breaking news. We're here to talk about whatever there is to talk about. Sometimes you have a game plan for the program, and other times you just start going. Oh, Marion's in the house. Hello, Marion. Thanks for coming in. Dina. Oh, with the panda emoji? Is that going to show up on the screen? Yes, it does. Dina the Trash Panda. John Brenneman checking in on Facebook. Good to see we are still up and moving on Facebook. They have the worst customer service. The worst, as in none. I remember when I started the New American Media, I wasn't on Facebook. My brother's like, dude, you got to get on Facebook. I'm like, I don't want to get on Facebook. Oh, the thousands of hours I could have not wasted had I not gone on Facebook. Luckily, if you're in the UK, you're going to get banned from social media. So that won't be a problem for you. We'll get to that story coming up. Boy, oh boy, are they trying to limit information, aren't they? Sinkholes happening all over, especially Florida. Yeah, man, sinkholes are a weird thing. That's for sure. We're going to get to the UFC 250 events. Let's go ahead and pull up our Instagram feed. Reminder, you need to follow us on Instagram at the New American Media. Let's go through our stack of pre-selected stories that I found interesting from the past 24 hours. By the way, how was your weekend? Question of the day, QOTD. Tell us in the comments. How was the weekend? Anything good? Anything interesting? Yeah. How was my weekend? Did a bit of cleaning. The basement has been traditionally been a cat central area for a while. Halo World, right? May he rest in peace. My beautiful, beloved white cat. He wasn't doing well for a while, and the whole carpeted area that used to have my drum kit on it. Well, yeah, we had to take that up and throw that in the trash. That was ruined, and it turned into Halo World. Lots of kitty pee pads and litter boxes and whatnot. And that was a rough period. And yeah, over the weekend and past several days, 4 or 5 days, really gave a good sort of pseudo deep cleaning. It was a deep cleaning of everything that's like there and accessible. For the real deep cleaning, I mean, it's to move everything out and get underneath everything and move everything back. But this is a pretty good one. And I'll tell you that sort of eye-opening how clean Halo World has been. It's been Nimbus World for a while. Every day, wake up and once or twice a day I have to go down and see how it's going, and it wasn't the best. But Buddy's been a trooper. You know, Buddy was a trooper for a long time. And so yeah, for me it was sort of, you know, getting the beach towels that were folded up that Nimbus would sleep on in the kitchen, and the sun would pass through the window and he'd lay there and be warm for a while. And he loved that spot because it was close to greeting me at the door, close to food, you know, kind of right in the middle of everything. Halo's spot was here's another question of the day. Have you ever had a water cat? Halo was a fireman. He always ran right into, if two of my fostered cats were growling or hissing or fighting with each other, causing a commotion, he would stay on top of the sink. He would be on the countertop, on the vanity. And you'd hear him ba-boom, because I mean, he was a muscular cat. And he would run right into the middle of things, like, what's going on here? What's going on? It's like, fireman. Oh, we got a problem. I'm going in. So yeah, Halo would always do the greetings from jumping off of the sink because he was a water cat. Also, not shockingly, that fireman cats, he's a fireman, loves the water. Go figure. But yeah, he would normally be the first greeter at the door, and then it was Aster. May he rest in peace. Awesome, muscular, just super awesome cat. Just so loving, so sweet. Yeah, and then for a while it was Nimbus. And so it was just you know, it's been a strange few days. Just I've said to people, the absence of Nimbus energy is palpable. Something along those lines. The absence of his energy. I'm not looking to see if he's walked right up to my leg. Sometimes he'd not get you with his whiskers and go, oh, okay, hi, what's up, buddy? And that's the other thing, just walking in the door and not seeing him there to say, what's up, buddy? Hey, buddy. And it's just like, oh. You know, and it's part of the process. My co-host on Strictly Football, Mike Barra, you might know him from his books or from Ancient Aliens or from Coast to Coast AM or whatever Mike's up to these days. He was on the Y-Files. What was the Y-Files? There was a new one that the guy started, a new show, and he was guest number 2. Got like 2 million views, 1.5 million views in like 2 days. But yeah, Mike, I kind of gave them an update what was going on because Nimbus had jumped into the show so much. I'm like, just to let you know, he just said, yeah, you know, you're getting a lot of love in our Telegram chat. And I mean, it's a very active Telegram chat. And yeah, just the stories and stuff, but you know, a lot of condolences, a lot of love being shared on that Mike Barra Telegram channel. Thanks, Mike. Shared a couple pictures. He reshared them. I didn't ask him to. He just did. He's like, oh, you're getting a lot of love over there. I go, huh? Have I ever been on your Telegram chat? I'm like, you got 5,300 people on your Telegram chat? Okay. That's an audience. That's fun. But yeah, I think Mike had said something along the lines of, you know, you're never going to not miss him. And it's like, yeah, that's true. But just opening the door and not saying, hey, buddy, what's up, buddy? Hey, buddy. I didn't realize how often I said that based on the past few days of not saying that. But yeah, for me, it was a lot of taking these things and running a load of laundry or 2. And, you know, Swiffer doing a deep clean of the laminate floors, the tile floors downstairs, and vacuuming the carpet stairs coming up, and really just trying to recalibrate and reset. Like, everything has changed. So I did not get out and do the normal amount of in the sun, working on projects, weekend work that I normally do. So I feel like I dropped the ball or that I was lazy or something, but it's okay. There was inside work that needed to be done, and there's plenty more where that came from, but yeah, so I don't know. for me, it was really just a rebalancing, recalibration, and trying to spend some extra time with Ben. We'll see if he wants to join the show sometime soon, but yeah, that's how mine was. So yeah. Hello, Leanne. How are you? Trash Panda number 8 checking in a good rainy morning. You're in Central Time. What place Central Time? Are you Texas too? Dina watched World War II movies. Did I watch any? I did watch UFC 250. I'm going to talk about it when the story comes up. I don't want to do it twice. You don't need a long, you don't need my detailed analysis of UFC 250 just to get into UFC 250 when I scroll past those stories. So I'll save it. But yeah, I watched it. I wanted to watch it. It was important to me. It felt like it was something worth watching. No, I didn't necessarily think we were going to see Nordic aliens announced at the White House. But you did hear these rumblings that the Iran war is over. What does that mean? Well, once again, we'll get to some of those stories in a little bit. But see, Marion, question of the day. Good weekend. Hung out with a couple grandkids this weekend. It's official. The youngest one is now taller than me. Yeah. Yeah, I've been thinking about life cycles. It's so interesting. You start off in this little womb, then you are put into a crib, then a little room, and then, you grow up and go out of the house, maybe a dormitory, then maybe an apartment, then maybe a condo, then maybe a house, then maybe a bigger house. If the trajectory of the American dream is alive and kicking, and in some ways it is, and in some ways it is not. But then at some point, you're going to want to downsize all your clutter and stuff and, maybe get something manageable, maybe an HOA, and you don't have to handle the roofing and the gardening. And then maybe you move into an apartment or assisted living, and then you pass away and go into a tiny little box. You got diapers in the beginning, maybe diapers at the end. Yeah, the whole life cycle of it's interesting. But yeah, when the youngest grandkid gets taller than you, that means something. Okay. Or you got to tell the kids to have more grandkids. You need someone shorter than you. I think that's maybe what you need to do. Leanne worked on getting YouTube backed up. Backed up. What's that mean? Getting YouTube backed up. Do you make original content and you backed it up? Going at it in 1 a.m, but I did it. Okay, that's good. David is asking, what number am I? Northern David is number 9. There you are. Number 9. There you are. Happy to have you. All right. What number am I? Hello, Northern David. Happy to have you. Okay, yeah, Leanne is Texas, Central Time Zone. Manute, what's going on? Yeah, we were talking about strictly football. Manute Manute balls. That'd be a good fantasy basketball team now. Yeah, he joins us on Strictly Browns, watching Cleveland Browns games. And the occasional other Unhappy Hour show from Georgia, East Coast. Well, Eastern Time Zone. Anyway, what's up? I hear the same words, that the war was over. Trump tight. Well, I mean, is it? Did we win? I heard some conflicting reports on, I was listening to an expert talk with Bob France on Strictly Speaking this morning. Those of you that don't follow Bob on Rumble, follow Strictly Speaking with Bob France, Frantz. It was kind of saying like, we didn't finish the job. Why is the Islamic Republic going to stay in power? Wasn't that the point? Yeah, they've been degraded militarily, but the job isn't over. What are we doing? Why did we do this? And if you're complaining about a couple $1 billion being unfrozen in Iran's own assets, how much are we given? 35 billion? But we're not, but we are, but there are no terms, but there are terms, but there's just a lot of question marks. And it feels impossible to conduct a military operation of any magnitude and length without political ramifications, especially for things such as the midterms. So I don't know on that one. We're going to see. Peace agreement was signed minutes ago. Well, let me look this one up. Now I'm still looking at traffic alerts in St. Louis for the bridge. Why is Shane Gillis trending? We'll check that. Oh, we got a Trump off with Dave Chappelle. Pretty nice here.
You're the best black Trump. Gillis, you're the best white Trump. Yes! He doesn't even have the hair. But he's got the skin, folks. Wow!
Oh, there was music in the background, wasn't there? I didn't even notice. Well, I'm sure we all saw this moment. Jesus, UFC and Paramount Plus going to ding me for playing this? Well, it's newsworthy and we're allowed to talk about it. Josh Hokett wins at Trump's White House UFC, tells Joe Rogan this.
And lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
Well, that happened, didn't it now? Oh, Shane Gillis didn't love that.
What do you think? What do you think of him saying Michelle Obama's a man?
I didn't love that.
Didn't love it? How come?
Why did you think?
A lot of people have said the opposite. That's why I.
Oh, I don't like that.
Trump's job.
Oh, I don't like that shit, he said.
You guys, we're all good. We're all good. Thank you.
What do you think of the cancel culture?
You guys got me on a couple
Guys.
brewskis.
All right, thank you guys.
But yeah, I didn't like that.
Oh, okay.
But whatever, he was funny.
All right, what was I looking up? I was looking up something else. Peace agreement. Was something just signed? Let's check. Peace agreement signed. Because I thought that was supposed to be in Switzerland, Geneva or something. But Fox News reporting Trump says deal with Iran now complete.
The Israelis struck Beirut, we were very worried, and we saw a lot of evidence that the Iranians were going to launch a large number of missiles at the Israelis. With our communication with them over the course of getting to this signed peace deal, they assured us that they were not going to respond to the Israelis, and they were going to sign this agreement and get to peace.
Yeah, Lucas, we were so happy to be joined by the Vice President. Such a momentous day. We've all been waiting for it, again.
And that is something you might want to announce at a birthday party. What a nice thing. But it's sort of, let's see, maybe so, maybe not, right? Maybe so, maybe not. South Lawn shall forever be Strickland. Yeah, they escorted Sean Strickland out. He came uninvited to just kind of crash it, and they're like, all right, we got to go. Leanne says, yeah, that's old news. Joan Rivers was telling the truth. I was having that conversation with a buddy of mine this morning. I said, well, I shared the clip last night when it happened. He's like, yeah, I'm not a fan of that. It felt like he was making Trump look bad or sabotaging. Something about it being a joke. Hang on. Let me tell you exactly how this conversation went. Hit the thumbs up, hit like, hit subscribe. Oh, let me put this at the bottom of the screen. There we go. Tip jars at the bottom of the screen. Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. If you want to shoot something over, we would definitely appreciate it. Oh, the conversation continues with 9 paragraphs. We've been over this one enough times that it's probably not worth going into the details of. But simply put, So he said, I know you'll call me a fun spoiler or whatever, but this is how I feel. This is beneath the presidency. I think it makes America itself look like a joke to do this at the White House and then have the performers act like that. Well, those are two different things. And Trump obviously didn't clear the specific joke. It's not his fault that he said it, but it happened at his event where the nation is watching and assessing a really unprecedented moment in history and judging whether Trump made the right call to do it. Like, I don't blame Trump for the guy saying that, but it reflects badly on him. For that reason, you could almost view this as a sneak attack on Trump. I don't want future presidents hosting events where they talk about Melania this way. I said, Joan Rivers never exposed Melania as being a dude, though. He says, nor did she expose Michelle. She made a joke. It's relatively recent history that you and some other MAGA, etc., pretend to believe that joke. My reply was, no. She didn't laugh. Joan Rivers wasn't telling a joke. She said it matter of fact, and she was killed, died like 5 weeks later during a routine procedure. He replies, it wasn't funny. Unfunny jokes are still jokes. And also, she died before getting the chance to see people pretend to believe her joke. I replied, as a professional, occasional, open mic stand-up comedian, it is in my amateur comic conclusion that it was not, in fact, a joke. She was going to officiate a same-sex wedding, and she was asked, when will America have its first gay president? She's like, we already do. Michelle's a tranny. He goes, what? She's a man. Everybody knows. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, close to verbatim on that quote. I've watched it so many times. Final reply on this conversation. We've been over this one enough times that it's probably not worth going into the details of, but simply put, I know it makes conservatives feel good to imagine Michelle Obama's fantasy penis. It is a funny thought to a certain extent. You get to imagine the Obamas. I'm reading this for the first time. He doesn't really often talk like this, my buddy. You get to it's a funny thought to a certain extent. You get to imagine the Obamas with putting one putting up into the other's. Very funny stuff. That's the origin of the joke. Ha ha ha. Literally nobody pretended at the time they believed that this is nobody pretended at the time that they believed it like they do now. The Obamas had 2 children. Michelle was raised as a girl because she was a girl. To pretend a comedian literally did some kind of investigation. Well, no. I mean, she was in that Holly weird circle. They know things and they talk. To pretend that Joan Rivers had some kind of investigation and had firsthand knowledge of a vast conspiracy to what? Gender conceal Michelle's D because she was born or since she was born, and then buy 2 kids from somewhere else to achieve what exactly? Get her married to a would-be state senator in case he managed to ascend to defeat Hillary Clinton in a race for president? And then after this comedian did some kind of investigation, she announced her findings via a bad joke, did nothing to back it up, though it was true, posing absolutely no threat to the secret itself, and the Obama cartel then murdered her via a medical procedure. It's a funny thing to pretend to believe. It's a fun thing to think about. I mean this sincerely. It's not just that I don't believe it. I don't believe that you believe it. I think you and virtually everyone claiming to believe it are pretending they believe it because it's fun. I'm not saying, and I'm recording a voice memo right now as I'm live on the TNAM Daily Show. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with a friend, text somebody and invite them in. No, I'm not saying that I believe that Michelle Obama is Michael Obama. What I believe is that Michelle Obama was asked on her, Joan Rivers was asked on her way to officiate a same-sex wedding when do you think America will have its first gay president? She says we already do. Michelle's a tranny. Everybody knows, and it's okay. It's okay. It was deadpan. It wasn't comedically funny. I don't think she was telling a joke. I think she had somebody whip out a camera back in 2009. Did they have smartphones in 2009? Whatever year it was. I don't recall what year it was. I'm guessing it was early on. I don't think that Joan Rivers was telling a joke in that moment. That's a different answer than me saying, I think that what Joan Rivers said was true. I just don't think Joan Rivers in that moment was telling a joke. I think she was caught off guard, going to officiate a wedding. And she said, Michelle's a tranny. We already have a gay president. We're already there. Everybody knows, and it's okay. It's okay. And that's, of course, something that the Democrats at that time, prior to lighting up the White House with rainbow colors and whatnot, I don't think that would have polled very well for them at that time. Pun intended. So anyway, that's a big conversation point this morning now, isn't it? Question of the day. Do you believe that Michelle Obama is a man? Type it in the comments. So there's that. Okay, yes, the Michael Robinson, Levon, right? Trash Panda. Don't say whip out when talking about Big Mike. Ah, boy. So that happened. Anyway, peace agreement. I mean, this is what people are talking about from yesterday. Peace agreement signed. It's the same. I guess I could read this part here from Clandestine, shared President Trump's post. This great deal will bring peace and security to the whole region, Trump says. Many presidents have tried to make peace with Iran. I mean, is there making peace with the Islamic Republic of Islamic supremacists? And all have failed to make peace with Iran before me. The leaders of the region have, for the first time, found a president who can help them achieve real peace. With the opening of the strait upon the signing of the deal on Friday, this was Friday, right? Or this upcoming Friday? For purposes of mine removal, oil will flow on both ends again for the region and the world. President DJT. Trump confirms the deal will be formally signed Friday. All right, so that's this coming Friday is what we're talking about in Switzerland. Okay, I was right on the Switzerland. This deal is not just to end the war, it's to bring stability to a region that has been intentionally destabilized for decades by the deep state, says Clandestine. Trump is bringing peace to the Middle East by neutralizing those doing the destabilizing, meaning Iran and their terrorist proxies. Trump took out the bully of the Middle East, and now the region can heal and rebuild. Market should still start to recover on Monday with the positive news, but once the final agreement on Friday is signed, stock markets will start to surge to their prior highs, and global energy prices will come down. They should crash. Then Trump will return home for America's 250th celebration, having just freshly signed a deal to bring peace to the Middle East with the midterms around the corner and all the momentum. Timing is everything. So we'll see. Let's take a listen to Trey Yingst about this deal. Oh, let me answer the question that I asked you, question of the day. I have lots of questions of the day. Just keep answering them. I'll try to keep up. It's a good question, though, Dina. How do you prove a negative? It's almost impossible, which is why hurling unprovable. Now, I'm not talking about Michelle in this case. I'm just talking about in general. When did you stop beating your wife? You know, that famous gotcha. You've all heard that in legal circles. You can't admit to it because it makes you look bad, and you can't deny it because now you're giving it air. You're feeding the fire air. You don't want to do that. But I did ask, how was the weekend? Patriot Warrior went roadside and sold squash and onions and then mowed again. and cooked out on the grill. Man, I need to get a cookout going. And your squash are already up and out. Yeah, I'm behind on the garden, but I do have some good things a brewing. I'm pretty excited about some of the seeds that are started, and I think I need to start some more. That's for sure. All right, let's listen to Trey Yingst, Middle East reporter here on Fox.
After more than 100 days in a state of war, a deal has been reached between the United States and Iran. President Trump taking to Truth Social overnight saying, quote, "This great deal will bring peace and security to the whole region.
Yeah,
Iran and all have failed before me. The leaders of the region have, for the first time, found a president who can help them. With the opening of the Strait for purposes of mine removal and again for the region and the world. A signing ceremony is set to take place on Friday in Geneva, Switzerland. Before the deal was signed, it was nearly derailed. The Israelis targeted Hezbollah with strikes in the Lebanese capital of Beirut. Iranian officials immediately vowed to respond with missile fire toward Israel. A diplomat with knowledge of the situation told Fox News that Qatari mediators stayed in Tehran conducting intensive negotiations coordinated with the United States. Vice President Vance described to Fox News what those final moments were like before the agreement was reached.
Okay, we'll get to J.D. Vance in a second, but doesn't it seem like every time we're close to peace, reports come out that Israel blows something up? You know, over and over and over again in the past several months. Oh, they're negotiating this, but then Israel does this, and now it's back to square one. The claims are that they want the war to keep going. They want to seize more land. They're in charge, not Trump. How do you prove or disprove that? Don't know. But let's go to JD. How was it in those final moments negotiating this?
Could you take us behind
Oh, I thought JD was coming up on a clip here.
the scenes of what that moment was like leading up to this deal actually being signed?
After the Israelis struck Beirut, we were very worried, and we saw a lot of evidence that the Iranians were going to launch a large number of missiles at the Israelis. With our communication with them over the course of getting to this signed peace deal, they assured us that they were not going to respond to the Israelis, and they were going to sign this agreement and get to peace. Now, of course, you always have to verify these things, Trey, and we know that there are a lot of people in the Middle East who do not want to make this deal happen.
I spoke with President Trump before the deal was reached, and he was optimistic about what this agreement means for the region. The president also got directly involved to ensure that the Iranians didn't launch missiles at Israel and derail the deal.
All right. So that's where we're at on the signing of a peace deal. Yeah, you just got me thinking about it. How did it go selling squash and onions at the roadside? Yeah, I have this game plan where all of the neighbors can grow a few things and grow a bunch, and we can trade with each other. I got tomatoes, potatoes, a whole bunch of starter seeds, like late in the year. We'll see if I'm going to be able to get them in the next couple months while it's still good weather. Some watermelon. Did carrots last year. Got some flowers coming up. I said bell pepper. What else did I put in there? I don't know. I need to get my squash going. But, yeah, I just need to step up that garden game. Do you garden? If you're on Facebook, find our group. It's called TNAM Grow Something. TNAM Grow Something. Private group. Just go in there, TNAM Grow Something, and join the group. Say you found us from the show. And then I will let you in to that private group. All right, let's go stateside here. Let's check in on Florida. Governor DeSantis, according to Red, White, Blue News. Not familiar with it, but I believe this is an actual clip where he's addressing this actual issue, perhaps. Impeachment of a reckless judge.
Appreciate the legislature for passing this. But I will just say to my friends in the Florida House of Representatives, I don't think what you've done is enough. You have the power and you have sufficient numbers in your chamber to impeach this judge, Tiffany Baker. Until you start holding these judges accountable, they are going to continue to find ways to benefit the criminal element. This was an outrage. This was such an easy call to make sure that this guy was put behind bars, and this judge refused to do it, knowing the risks, and the result has obviously been a tragedy. So Florida Constitution vests the House of Representatives with the ability to bring an impeachment against a circuit judge with 2/3 majority. You know, last time I checked, we've got way more than 2/3 of Republicans. Honestly, I think some Democrats would vote to impeach.
We need to get back to a place where we can vote common sense, where we can cast common sense votes on common sense things. According to this post, she released a convicted S offender, Daniel Spencer, on bond after his trial against the prosecutor objections. Weeks later, he allegedly tortured and emmed his 5-year-old stepdaughter, Melissa Missy Mogul. The tragedy directly led to Missy's law, which DeSantis signed to stop judges from doing this again. But he says it's not enough. The judge who failed Missy must be held accountable. No more activist judges endangering our kids. Yeah, I've called on us to create some sort of different Supreme Court. A judicial court, maybe it's redundant, but don't call it the Supreme Court, just call it the United States Court. 2 retired judges, 1 Republican, 1 Democrat, if you have to, or just common sense people. You ask 50 common sense questions and find a way to just put reasonable people up for these positions. Say there's 100 judges. Anybody that's nominated, they have to take a look and go, guys, you got to remove this person. Put the judge on trial to legally defend the reason why they did what they did. And if you can't defend it, your law license is revoked by the United States Judicial Review Court or something, whatever we want to call it. We'll think of something good. But if a majority, if a plurality, if 2/3, can't get unanimous, but like, if you can't legally justify some bullshit decision that led to mass carnage on the other side that didn't need to happen, these judges need to be hauled in front of that court and disbarred, if not jailed. Because there's no universe where we need to keep letting violent, crazy people go out back to free-range society to do violent, crazy stuff to Americans again. Yeah, Patriot Warrior says, remove all the corrupt judges, throw them in prison forever. He says, I think I tagged you a while back on my onion pics. Did you? Did I see it? Onion pictures. I don't even know what kind of, are they white onions, yellow onions? Are they scallions? I don't know. If you did, tag me again. I'll try to look for that. He says, or remove all corrupt judges and throw them in prison forever. Or corporal punishment, capital punishment. I mean, there's no universe where crazy, violent people should keep getting lenient sentencing. David says the judge should be charged with murder, never mind impeachment. The judge needs a cognitive test, says Dina. Nice. Tomatoes, potatoes. Oh, Mark's won some ribbons at the local fair. Have you now? That's awesome. Bravo. What did you grow? Yeah, I gotta crush my garden game a little bit here. Hello, Kenneth. Welcome. Happy to have you. Judgment Day is coming soon. I see what you did there. But yeah, I think there needs to be a United States Judicial Review Court. If you can't legally justify the reasons why you did something so stupid that other people got hurt, you're going to have to find another profession. And a lot of these judges are not legal beagles by any stretch. What was it? The Regal Beagle. That was the name of the bar on Three's Company. Anyway, that's going on in Florida. Thank you, Governor DeSantis. Stephen Davis says, recognize what we're up against. Sticking our heads in the sand won't help us, and it only exacerbated this problem. Are we really just going to sit idly by and let this country be exploited by these criminals? Sassafras 84 said, the Democrat Party's real structure. Antifa is the Democrat Party military wing. The media, Democrat Party propaganda wing. Act Blue, Democrat Party laundering wing. SPLC, Democrat Party targeting wing. Soros, Democrat Party funding wing. College, Democrat Party indoctrination wing. This isn't a political party. It's an organized crime syndicate. I'll put agree button and hope people smash that and follow our channel. We shall see. Yeah, they're not a political party. They're a domestic terrorist organization. Gentry Gevers says, hey, check this out. I don't have the guy's name. We should have this guy's name. I'm going to type that in the comments. What is this man's name and story? He said he was only 18 years old when he came to serve. Now 100 years old, returning to D-Day. Back for the first time since D-Day. Throwing some flower petals on the beach for, and then put a rose in the water. Wonder how these people would feel. I wonder how he feels. I want to know this guy's name and his story. 100 years old, coming back to a place 75 years later. The whole world has changed, not necessarily for the better. Hey, we're talking about growing food and therefore gardening. Check this out on Fox Local Houston. They got this video about a Canadian farmer. David, are you teaching these folks how to fight up there? The goats come running in like crazy. Why? You hear the screaming? A cougar has the goat. That's not good. That's hard to listen to. Jeez. And the farmer lady goes, hey!
Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out! Get out!
Go on now,
get out of here! Get out of here! Get out!
Get out! That. Dramatic video shows the moment a Canadian farm owner kicked into high gear to save her baby goat from a cougar attack. Gina Moore's harrowing security camera footage showed what could have been her Nigerian dwarf goat's last moments, but Moore wasn't having it. All right, I'll follow. I honestly was just running on adrenaline, she told Storyful. I knew there was a chance that the cougar would turn on me, so I'd better make whatever I did count. Moore's farm, located in British Columbia, has geese, cows, 4 Nigerian dwarf goats, she said, named Leo, Mick, Donnie, and Raph after the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. She bought them after losing a miniature horse to a black bear last year. She said she takes protecting her animals very seriously, and it's only been more recently that bears and cougars have begun hunting on her farm. Developments are pushing them out of their natural habitat. Oh, she was barefoot? Yeah, how is the goat? Jeez, that noise. Is she really barefoot? Wow. So, Great says, I saw somewhere else she had a few treatable superficial wounds and should be fine. Oh, someone heard the goat scream, help me? I mean, I don't know if I heard that. Do I have to listen to this a third time? Let's listen a third time. It's motoring, man. It said, help me, help me. Okay, I heard it that time. Jeez. Well, bravo, lady. Here's another question of the day for you farmers, for people that have animals outside. Tell me a story. Tell me a most recent story of when you've had animal encounters, animal attacks. What do you do to prevent them in the future? What measures do you? But anyway. So with the UFC 250 fight, here's this Charlie Kirk interview from last year. Did you ever see this one?
We're going to have fight night next July 4th on the White House lawn.
Hey, he's got thoughts, Charlie Kirk does. And I did not see that they reserved him a seat. That would have been nice to see. Not that they didn't, but I didn't see it if they did.
I mean, there's something to be said for that.
Wish the music was... I wish I could click a button and get rid of the background music and just listen to them talk.
Oh, there's something to be said for it. Look, I don't ask for a lot of favors.
I got to keep pausing it so we don't get the copyright ding. I don't ask for a lot of favors from the White House. I do from time to time, but not a lot.
Out of the White House. Every so often I'll ask for something. No. I'm asking for front row seats. I don't.
He wants front row seats to UFC 250. They should have left 2 seats open and put his name on it.
Maybe second row I'll go with. I'll say, hey, guys, of all the different things, I want to be at this UFC fight. I'm going to bring my wife.
Anyway, the music's kicking in, but yeah. Did they reserve a seat? Let me ask Grok on that. That'd be a question. Let's see. Did UFC Jamie, look this up. Did UFC 250 reserve a seat for Charlie Kirk yesterday at the event? Searching. No confirmed report. God, he was assassinated almost a year ago, September 25. Erica Kirk, his wife, attended and participated, including rehearsing for a hosting role and sharing a personal memory about attending a UFC event with Charlie early in their relationship. Oh. And there was a Turning Point USA ad and tribute shown during the event that did honor Kirk. Okay, well, I mean, he was there then. But there should have been a seat, and they should have put the camera on it and talked about it. Okay, well, if I were in charge, there would have been a seat, and you would have shown it before every match. New York Knicks win the NBA championship. Did any of you watch? Did any of you care? I'm a Cavalier fan. And we had something like a 27-point lead on the Knicks in game 1 in Madison Square Garden. It's like, oh, yeah. And they just came roaring back and somehow found a way to win that game. Cavs were toast after that, got swept. The Spurs were leading like 70% of the finals, and they lost 4-1. After the Knicks win in Times Square, shots fired.
Check.
Let's go.
I was at the Cleveland Cavaliers parade, just had the 10-year anniversary of this, 2016. There was a shooting at the parade. Some 15-year-old kid shot his girlfriend or something in the leg, and it caused a stampede. And it was right around the time all those Obama-era Islamic supremacist beheadings in Bataclan, torture and terrorist attacks and mowing people down with cars and shouting about snack bars. And it was all over the globe. It was all over Europe, Islamic attacks. And so when Ariana Grande attack there were a lot during that Obama era. Almost as if he was funding and collaborating with them. I mean, almost as if. I'm not going to say that was the case, but yeah, sort of at the height of that, there was a huge panic and stampede. And when you're in a city and you're packed wall to wall with people and everyone starts running, man, you don't even know what you're running from, but you don't want to be at the end of that line. So who knows what that was all about? Let me ask Grok. Jamie, pull up any injuries or deaths from NYC celebrating Knicks title. Because Mamdani banned the watch party. Didn't want to allow people to gather and congregate at the watch party. Yes, there were injuries. 63 arrests, assault on officers, criminal mischief, disorderly conduct. 10 NYPD officers injured. One was punched in the face, another hit with a glass bottle. 17-year-old boy shot in the foot near Times Square. Or maybe that's what we watched right there. A gun was recovered. 42nd, 43rd Street. Does this say? It does not say. Well, it does say Times Square, so. Near Times Square. 4 slashings or stabbings reported overnight. 5 school buses that were used for World Cup transport were damaged or set on fire in Times Square. Damaged police vehicles, fireworks in crowds, people climbing buses, poles, and scaffolding. Well, climbing something, whatever. Tens of thousands celebrated peacefully in many areas, especially near Madison Square Garden, but violence broke out in parts of Midtown Manhattan as the night went on. No fatalities reported. Okay, well, that's good. Ticker tape parade planned for June 18, 3 days from now. Yeah, so, yeah, someone's always got to do something stupid. Wherever we are. Dina says, I saw a crow snatched up a wee, startling in an instant in my cherry tree. David has coyotes roaming around, or coyotes, as some people say. Oh, another beheading, this time in Texas. A man in a Dallas motel owner. Jeez. Anyway, congrats to the Knicks in New York, and congrats to Carolina Hurricanes for winning the NBA and NHL basketball and hockey championships.
This was Rob.
I didn't really care too much. I watched it. I wanted to see it, but I didn't put money on it. I didn't really care. They weren't my teams, and hockey's not my sport, so. Anyway, Belfast burning. Let's check in with that UK like I was talking to you about. A UK caller goes viral for his response to the riots in Belfast following a brutal, they call it a knife attack. It's a terrorist attack they call him a migrant. He's a non-citizen. Just call him a non-citizen.
It was Rob.
That happened in Belfast last night, all the unrest. Well, yes, rightly, you shouldn't condone what happened. What else have people got to do? They're not listening. The political class are not listening. These people who are coming over here illegally, they're rapists, terrorists. They're coming over here. It's literally like putting a wolf in a sheep field.
Wow. Isn't that what I was just talking about? It's literally like putting a wolf in a sheep field, right? Or like putting a cougar in a goat field. Too much music, so I'll mute it and read it. You're giving them a target-rich environment. You haven't vetted them. You haven't done nothing. All you've done is dump them in a place where they can wreak havoc, where they can come from. Guess what? There's no law. They can do literally whatever they like. They come over here, yeah, there's lawyers, of course, taxpayer funded. They get a nice cushy home, running water, Sky TV, gym memberships, bus passes. They can literally go where they want and create havoc. And when they do, the people that foisted them upon us, guess what? They say, don't get upset. Don't do anything. Don't go out and cause unrest. Well, I'll tell you what, mate, stop reaping. Then you might not have to sow, because this country It's absolutely on the edge. They cannot take much more. People getting stabbed, raped, blown up, you name it. You've foisted it upon us for the last 25, 30 years, ever since Blair said, I'm going to rub your noses in it. Well, guess what? What goes around comes around. And I think the political class, he says, has got a very big smack on the nose coming. We'll put save the UK button. Sort of coinciding almost exactly with the time that they were disarmed and they couldn't defend themselves. Go figure, huh? Belfast versus Buzzer Slow. Ding. Yeah, that's the post that we just played you about Michelle Obama. Yeah, this was that picture that was going around. We put it up on our Instagram feed. Apparently it was posted on, I believe it was Reddit. Was it taken down? I don't recall. And with Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day. Have any of you watched Disclosure Day? If so, do you have any reviews? I've read a few reviews. But I won't get into that on this conversation. Hello, Liberty Tango. Happy to have you here. Salute to you, sir. So this was the picture, and then they put this, Highway Panther put this up. Helm's Deep. What a terrible tragedy. Worst tragedy since Obamacare. Many lives lost. Good people. Most of them were good. Not a lot of fans for me there. Not important anymore. I warned that loser King Theoden that Sauron wasn't sending his best. He wasn't sending his best. I told him Grimer was a liar. I said to him, Gondor failed the good people of Rohan. Just imagining some fake conversation with, I guess there's 4 types of aliens they're trying to prep us with. Was it like insectoids and Nordics and Greys, and there's a 4th. Now I'm curious, Jamie, what are the 4? Show visuals of the 4 types of aliens on Earth. Let's see if it knows what I'm talking about. Of course, visual was spelled Vesuklas. The Greys. We've seen this. I guess they're just called reptilians or reptiloids. Ah, the Nordics are the Pleiadians. Yeah, I think that's where I'm from. I've just had this thing with Pleiades my whole life. Okay, so I mean they're. And then insectoids and mantids, praying mantis type. It's not too different from the Greys. I mean, I think that could just be 3. These depictions come from eyewitness accounts, abduction reports, and 2026 claims about recovered non-human biologics. They're unproven and exist in the realm of ufology and conspiracy theories rather than confirmed science. Okay, thank you for that. Interesting image. This image went everywhere over the weekend. And of course, Elon Musk is, what are they calling him? The world's first trillionaire? SpaceX went public. Fun fact, I did apply to work with SpaceX. I lived right around the corner from their El Segundo office. I'm like, that's a fun company doing fun stuff. Nice to know their janitors are now millionaires. That would have been a different life. For sure. But Scott Jennings gets on CNN talking about what is it all about? What's this hate for Elon.
Because Elon Musk exists and is a wild success.
Number one, he exists. That's the number one reason why they hate him. Number two, he's a wild success.
That is somehow to the detriment of all the people you're mentioning. Elon is creating an environment where entrepreneurship, where success, where building is celebrated. The only reason anybody's mad about this, let's just be honest, is because he supported Donald Trump for president.
Yep.
If Elon Musk had never gotten involved in politics, had never supported Trump, he'd be getting ticker tape parades right now for building this amazing company and sending rockets into space. It's all political, and the people who should love Elon Musk are the ones who hate him for that reason.
But do you agree that one person should have control of American policy? That's what influence is. That's what money does.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
will.
He loses.
He does.
He invests in races and loses. He's like anybody else who donates money, like Reid
access
Hoffman.
to the White House, and it's
Soros.
all about access. It's all about. It is all
Reid Hoffman, George Soros, they all invest in candidates.
about access
So
to
you're
the United
mad
States.
that he
And you're
supported a
telling me-
candidate who won.
No, I'm just telling you.
You're saying because Elon...
Mm-hmm. Call me when you're mad about Alex Soros. They're not. No! Changed your name. No, Nick. Now you're Cletus Live? Most folk will never lose a toe, but then again some focal, like Cletus, the slack-jawed yokel. Hey, Ma! Coleus. I just read that as Cletus. I read your last one as Miraculous Botanicals. Now I read this as Cletus Live. Coleus Live. What's up, Dr. Nick? Hi, Dr. Nick. Hi, everybody. Guess what? Well, if it isn't my old friend, Mr. McGregor, with a leg for an arm and an arm for a leg. Coleus, like the plant, only not spelt the same. Boss, could you keep the light on? I get scared of the dark. Yeah, nice reference there. That's a Green Mile reference. John Coffey, like the drink, only not spelt the same. I don't do a John Coffey voice. I gotta go deep.
You're saying because
anyway, Elon went trillionaire status. Quote from Joe Rogan says, "This was the greatest night in the history of combat sports. Greatness night. Well, that's supposed to be greatest night in the history of the MMA by far." It was a cool event. Look at that picture. Data Wine, President Trump saluting, and you got all the jets flying overhead. Uncle Sam getting it on. I mean, it was neat. I don't know. I just thought it was cool. Look at that picture. You do it for the picture alone, right? Look at that. Here, full screen. America. Yeah. Coming again to save the day. Yeah, America. Freedom is the only way. Yeah. Oh, speaking of which. It looked like he scrunched his eyes. Look. He's like, hi there. Okay, it's like a Mad Magazine fold-in shirt. This is crazy. It looks like he's squinting. Holy shnikes, that's weird. Now he looks like Teddy Roosevelt. Wow. Anyway, I'm wearing my Ron Swanson America shirt in honor. Cletus says, not a huge fan of the... If I start calling you Cletus, it's all in good fun, but my brain really does glance at that and see Cletus. Coleus says, not a huge fan of the UFC event, but I'm not against it either. I've never been a huge fan of MMA. I just don't, motocross and hockey or lacrosse, like it's stuff. It's fine. I'm not like super into it, but like you're like, I'm not against it either. Yeah. Ron Swanson, how do you feel about Clint Eastwood? I reckon that's going to be a bad idea. Hi, everybody. Okay, that is nuts. Okay, it's fine. You can be Cletus. All right. Hey, TNAM meme team, should we get Nick a jersey number? Nick, should we get you a jersey number on the TNAM Trash Panda softball team? But I don't think. All right, John on the TNAM meme team. Maybe we can't call him Nick, but we'll have to call him. Can we put Cletus on the back of a jersey? We're gonna get a lot of players by the time we're done here. Does he get to pick a number, or does he get assigned a number? I still love Miami Bob, number 2. What's that? Didn't Epstein just go to like Florida and have a new name now? They call him like Miami Bob or something. Can someone remind me who said that exactly? Because I think it was the Miami Bob comment that created all this. Yep, Orthos number 27, present and accounted for. Gotta give Cletus a jersey number. And the rest of you regulars too. But I mean, look, this picture is sick. It's just cool. It's objectively neat. It was well done. I signed up for Paramount Plus just to watch it. I almost went out and got some wings or something, but I was like, let's just get Paramount Plus and try it. And look at that picture. This was from the weigh-in the night before, across the recently finished reflecting pool. A rainbow and a lightning bolt through or behind the Washington Monument. That's just awesome. Just for these 2 pictures alone. Oh, and look at all the snipers up top here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or so. It was just a cool event. I was happy. I was happy that they did it. All right, who is? Oh, Nick Shirley went to the White House.
UFC 250 has to be one of the coolest sporting events in American history. I'm going to show you guys why.
Yeah, that's what it was. Thank you. Yeah, Palm Beach. Yeah, didn't Epstein go to Florida and change his name? He's like Miami Bob. No, it's Palm Beach Pete. How did we get Miami Bob out of that? But who said it? Who said it? Was it you that said it, Mark? Oh, wait a minute. Trash Panda worked on a new softball team this morning. We are the TNAM Trash Pandas, rifling through the rubbish, separating fake news from fact. Miami Bob, number 2. Wait, who's Wooly Willie? Wooly? Do we have a Willie in here? I can't even keep track. But you worked on a new one, still in production. Heck yeah. Miami Bob. I don't know why it's so damn funny to be Miami Bob. Anyway, Nick Shirley goes behind the scenes here.
First off, I went through, got escorted by Secret Service, met a fan right here.
Look, we got the Quality Layering Center out here, UFC. You're the man.
And then headed into the event and ran into this guy.
Okay, hold on. Who goes to a UFC event with a glossy, what is it, 9x11? Is that the 8x11? Is it 8x11? 8x11. Final answer. Jamie, look that up. What's the 8.5 by 11? That's my final answer. 8.5 by 11. That's my final answer. I said 8 by 11. It's 8.5. 8.5 by 11. I got it. Okay. Who's going to go to a UFC event randomly having multiple photographs, 8.5 by 11, color, glossy photos? Who even gets photos anymore? I was thinking about this the other day because I have a couple of cameras. I do reselling. So I'm like, well, shit. Now I got to plug these things in. I got to test them. How do I test them? I got to try an SD card. Does it work? I don't know. How far do I need to go in my testing on these things? And I have like an old Coca-Cola point and shoot camera. It's like a pink plastic one from the late 90s or something. I'm like, okay, I'll list that one too. I'm like, but how would I even test it? Where would I? You used to be able to go up to the grocery store and get film developed. Yes, I remember that. Who even develops film anymore? Where do you go to get film developed? Another good question. Any of you can answer any of these questions. Just do a complete sentence so I know what you're talking about. When is the last time you had film developed and where? Also, do you have any current cameras that take film, but you haven't used them in a while? And if so, where would you go? Are there local camera shops? Oh no, Wooly Willy was the, oh God, I laughed at Wooly Willy. Who said that? Was that Kenneth or was that you, John? We were showing a photo of, who were we showing a photo of? Was it some like Democrat congressman or somebody in the news? And the comment came in that he looked like Wooly Willy. I'm sorry. I forgot that joke. Our softball team is made up of a ton of inside jokes. Palm Beach Peter. So pretentious. Pretentious Palm Beach Peter. Rainbow is a star overseas. Yeah, big in Vietnam. All right. Mark thought it was 8 by 10. 8.5 by 11. I was a little off. Glamour shots versus Kodak. Okay, yeah, I thought that was a Kenneth joke. I did originally give you. I don't think that was John, but let me double check. Yeah, that was a Kenneth. Looked like Wooly Willy, and we pulled up a side by side, and the dude looked like Wooly Willy. Walgreens and Walmart do photos still. I don't go to those places. Oh yeah, I guess Walgreens does have that little spot in the corner, doesn't it? I totally forgot about that. Anyway, who's going to carry an 8.5 by 11? Who even has photographs? Why would somebody randomly have a Knicks shirt? I mean, unless you knew you were going to meet him here.
Walk through right here. There's the dome. We got Kid Rock right here. You got
UFC.
Just hanging out with Kid Rock. I don't know. Something about Nick Shirley. He has so much instant access to all the things. You go, where'd this guy come from? How? Tim Pool, Nick Shirley. You could rattle off the name of 40, 50 people. You just go, why do they have so much access? Why? How do they seemingly come out of nowhere? Now you're getting a guided tour of the El Salvadorian Supermax prison. Oh, you're a Minneapolis. You're up there doing your thing. Now you're getting guided tours from Bukele and his team. I don't know. It seems a little... David loves photos. Yeah, look, I used to be assistant photo editor of our school newspaper back when that was a thing. I remember one of my great pictures. There was a power outage. And I'm like, I'm on it. I'm on the case. So I went around trying to figure out what happened. I started talking to people. Oh, check with so-and-so. Go over here. Go check that out. Yeah, somebody hit a guy line. Guy or guide line? Attached to a telephone pole, and it took down the power, and that was out over there in this field. I went and took the photo. You can see where the car ran through the cornfield and knocked into the tree. And that's what took the power down. So the front page story the next day was my photograph of this is why you didn't have power yesterday. That was fun. But yeah, I spent a lot of time with the photo editor and learned a lot about photography back in the day. But yeah, now it's just it's all on your phone. so it's not that big a deal.
Created a one.
Anyway, just who was going to carry that picture around hoping, hey, maybe I'll meet Nick Shirley? Like, how does that happen? Unless he has them. I have questions about that part of this already. Just everything about Nick Shirley to me is a little sus. A little sus. I don't know how to describe it other than what I've been talking to you about. How did you get this big so quick? How do you have the money for these security teams? How are you getting Supermax guided tours in El Salvador of the worst gangbangers on planet Earth? Does his team have a stack of 8.5 by 11s that they'll give out to fans? What kind of budget do you have to be getting stacks of glossy 8.5 by 11s that your security team, your private security team, could hand out to people? I mean, imagine what I would have to go through. You know what it's like? Okay, it is guy wire. G-U-Y. But isn't it guiding the poll? It's not a guide wire? No, I called it a guy wire, G-U-I. I'm like, why is it called a guy wire? Tim Pool is a pod. I did not care for Tim when I met him. Rogan either for that measure. But it's all right. I give them both grace. They're both working in the middle of stuff. They don't know me. They don't owe me any of their time. But it took just as long to be cool as it could have taken for them to just kind of be standoffish and dicks, you know? I don't know. Wouldn't have taken all that much more effort to be cool. But they weren't. But they were busy and they don't know me and they don't owe me. So, okay, now hold on. Liberty Tango saying it's called a guide wire. Somebody, Jamie, look it up. Guide wire or guy wire? Kenneth says Nick Shirley is CIA. Yes. And don't call him Shirley. I was listening to an interview with Charlie Sheen on the Fly on the Wall podcast, David Spade and Dana Carvey. Saturday Night Live alumni. That's tough to say. Saturday Night Live alumni. Saturday Night Live alumni. That's got like a cadence to it. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Saturday Night Live alumni. Okay, Mark's saying Barron Trump probably picked Nick Shirley. That's good. That's very fair. I'm full of questions. Anyway, let's keep it going.
One experience by making this dome and putting it right outside the White House.
The dome. Look at this.
And the fight also lands on President Trump's 80th birthday. Here's the man himself. The UFC did so many small little things to make the fight so epic, such as having live music for some of the walkouts.
That song stood out to me. I was singing it while I was watching. Whoa, whoa. Okay, here's a question of the day. Quick, first one to answer the question wins nothing. You'll win nothing and like it. Who sings this song? Whoa, whoa, oh, 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 oh. Oh. Who performed that song? And what's that song called? I don't even know. Oh, you're just saying it's the Barron effect, that whole generation. Okay. Marion says, in land surveying, it's a guy wire for easement on plats. So Trash says guy anchors for guy wires are sometimes called down guys or dead man. Question of the day. You sang it. I won. Ah, shit. You got me on a technicality. Rats, and I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for you wretched kids. He wouldn't say wretched. For you meddling kids. That's what it would be. Meddling kids. And I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids. Oh boy, oh boy. You guys. A dude wire?
I then went over and said hi to Mark Zuckerberg.
Luke Radowski from I think, yeah, Luke's in our intro, right? I talked to Luke at, not Politicon, where was that? The United We Stand event. Luke Radowski says, you should have asked Zuckerberg about all the censorship he did. Yeah, and you also should have asked Zuckerberg about those drop boxes and the fact that he did so much in the deep blue cities to overthrow the will of the people in the 2020 elections during the summer of love riots and Corona. No, it's you meddling kids, not you metal teeth kids. I think Elon's developing metal teeth dogs to come after the people that don't abide. He says, I'm trying to save the state of California for you. He says, thank you. I appreciate it. We need that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We need that.
I'm a robot.
I know.
Trying to keep it so you guys can stay in California.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Went and said hi to some true American legends who are currently serving.
Sailors.
O'Malley then went and took the dub, and then the championship fight began.
This is the best fight of the night by far.
Ilya was getting wrecked, and Justin pulled off one of the greatest upsets of all time. Absolute epic. UFC 250.
It was awesome. I thought it was cool. Rich Homie Quan sings it. I understand some of those words.
UFC 250.
Now let's compare the White House in June of 24 to June of 26. Tell me, can you spot the difference? I can't believe you would desecrate the White House with boxing, with MMA. Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt used to do that too, remember? No, you don't remember, but he did. I've looked it up many times and read about it. I was curious. White House turned into some Skittles spectacle. A skitical. That word sounded a little dirtier than I thought it would. A Skittles spectacle, June of 24. You know that one. I believe this is the event where you had topless trannies exposing themselves on the White House lawn. And that was deemed something. Can you unsee the photographs of that dude, that brunette dude, covering up surgically implanted silicone implant boobies on the lawn of the White House? I remember that. I wish I could not participate in that. I'm all right. I don't think I need that. See the difference? Come on, that's objectively cool. Just, I have a couple posts coming up about what would it have been like America's 250th birthday party at the White House with Kamala. What would that have been like? Oh my goodness. Yeah, there it is. That's the difference in one picture.
Bass.
Okay, this is a trend that is going all over the universe. World Cup. I haven't talked much about World Cup because it's soccer and I don't really care. But World Cup is a big deal to people who find it to be a big deal. That being said, there are so many reports of foreigners coming to America now. The fact that this is in America, it's bringing okay. I have mixed feelings on this because we do not need more immigration. Although, let me qualify that. Maybe we do actually need top-notch immigration. Just like a highly prestigious school. Best of the best. Qualifications. You're not going to take money. You're going to create things. You're not going to be a taker. You're going to be a doer. Not a taker. You're a giver, a donator, a taxpayer, not a moocher. Popping out as many kids as you possibly can to take as much money as you can from the government to vote Democrat till the day you die and have more kids that have as many kids as they can and vote Democrat till the day they die. And in just 3 generations, we'll never have an America again. And you go, ugh, I don't know how that benefits America. But you do want the best of the best. Like Elon Musk, set up shop in Texas. California, you fumbled the bag. You dopes. We'll just tax them more. You can't have billionaires and now trillionaires. You gotta tax them till they leave. What are they gonna do? Go to Mars? Yeah, they could go to Mars, you dope. Oh, did California tax coffers fumble the bag with Tesla at SpaceX? Yes, only the best should be let in. So there's this new thing with the World Cup attracting all these people to America, and they are chronicling their American experience in such a way that, like, you know, we interviewed, oh geez, what's his name? John Fugelsang. You've seen him on CNN, other places. We interviewed him and he was talking about Alexander de Tocqueville. And he said that was his inspiration to writing a book. We talked with him at, maybe that was Politicon or Political Convention. He was on our show. He was saying he didn't think Trump was shot in Butler. I'm like, what? But he said Alexander de Tocqueville, like he was inspired by his, you know, going across America and just documenting the American experience. It's just, the European mind cannot comprehend. That's a nice catchphrase because it's so different here. Everything is so different here. And so I'm really enjoying these. There's a great German guy that's doing this. Here's a British couple, first time in a Bass Pro Shop, James and Sienna.
Bass Pro Shop. My goodness, they sell everything in there.
I'm going to show you what we got up to in there. Let's go.
Look at his eyes. They don't even know what's going on at this Bass Pro Shop.
I don't have words.
Bro.
What are we looking at right now?
Bro, look at the size. Look, there's a fish in there that's bigger than a shark.
Whoa! Look at that thing.
It's just all so wholesome. It's so nice that, like, you have an American president that loves this country and gives a shit. Biden's cue cards written by the Obama team, the third Obama term. You know, look, I ran on hope and change, and with Joe Biden, we said, look, America, you didn't build that. It wasn't. It was not because white Europeans came over. They didn't settle the land. That was indigenous land, a bunch of thieves. And, we said that, look, you're a colonizer. That's a pejorative. Go back to the British. These two, they're from, the same place. It's a little better with Keir Starmer. Many more mosques, which is good. I could put that on a t-shirt. Maybe I'll sell it in my presidential library in Chicago. Many more mosques. Not that I'm into that, but, not that there's anything wrong with that. You heard Jerry say to Costanza. Anyway, look, America's got a lot to be ashamed of and should forever be ashamed about the things done by people that are not you to people that aren't them. But they should be perpetual victims, entitled to getting your money and your power, political influence. Because look, America, you didn't build that. I come from a church. I had a little red schoolhouse. a little bit in Indonesia. I got a, I'm what they call learned, not smart enough to not mistakenly type that in the Harvard Law Review that I was born in Kenya, because, not that smart, but look, I'm pretty smart when it comes to communist bullshit. I went to a church, unlike your backward, white Christian churches or whatever you guys go to. Look, Jeremiah Wright famously said, it's not God bless America, it's goddamn America. That's what keeps me going. And, look, if I were, still, writing the cue cards, just like I did for Joe Biden. And look, Joe thought that was a pretty big fucking deal. He said, that's a pretty big fucking deal. I said, Joe, don't swear like that on camera. You got to pretend. It's called tequila. Hold on. You have taquitos? No, it's called tequila, not taquitos. Look, you lie to their face and you smile and you say, hoppity hope and changeity change. Look, we've done a good job in this country, in our schools, really, browbeaten American kids to hate themselves, hate their culture, hate Christianity, just hate America. So there's a lot of them growing up to hate themselves. You got to tap into that, because look, we're hope and change, and as I famously said, 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America. So look, if this were Kamala, and I know Trump likes to say Kamala or whatever he does with this stupid voice. Look, this 250th, this would have probably been a sore spot, a stain on Earth. Because I've always considered myself to be a global president, sort of above. I picked the name Renegade for a reason. I'm not a part of, the game that they've been playing. Because face it, they've been playing the old okey doke. And yeah, politically we got shellacked a couple of times, but look, if Kamala's team, which would have been my team, look, this would have just been a continuation of the Biden administration. Biden, you think he got 81 million? Come on. I said in that interview, look, if I could maybe serve another term as president, but maybe I could be in the basement in my pajamas, just watching TV. Maybe the Chicago White Sox. Remember that time I threw out that ball left-handed, all girly, with my mom jeans? And I just had this really pathetic, weakling kind of throat. Look, this birthday party would have just been a miserable, I would have made you all feel bad. There's no American exceptionalism. You got nothing to be proud of because you didn't build that. This country was built by Somalians. You've heard people say that. It was built by, everybody but the people that did it. It's not settlement, it's colonizing. And that's what we've taught, in our Ivy League schools. If you're super smart, that just means, you are indoctrinated. And, frankly, I can't watch this shit, this pro-America stuff. You took down our rainbow flags and replaced them with American flags. It's not God bless America, it's goddamn America. God damn it. Ask Jeremiah Wright, my spiritual guru. It kind of boils my blood a little bit. If I had blood, if I wasn't a robot, a communist robot from the future sent to destroy this place, or if I wasn't, the perfect, tall, slender, perfectly complected, nice smile candidate, crafted in the same, laboratory that they got Brett Baer from. He's not real either. Come on, that guy's a news robot. If you type into that computer, thankfully Al Gore created the internet for us to do this. But look, Brett Baier was created in a lab. I was also created in a lab. Some say CIA. What's the difference? As Hillary so famously said, what difference at this point does it make? But look, the point I'm making is just imagine this were Kamala Harris, overseeing, we can't even call it a celebration because this country is just, it's, like in the Bible, if you choose to read that stuff and believe that, and some of you do. Oh, I know a lot of you cling to your God and your guns. And as backward as I might think that is, and I'll look down my nose at you and, that backward philosophy, but I'll publicly say that I'm Christian. I do the song and dance, hoppity hope, changety change. This whole thing would have been different. No American exceptionalism. We got to take it down a few pegs. We've lived a little too good too long. Now, I don't mean me. I need a mansion in the East Coast, a mansion on the West Coast, mansion out in Hawaii. Look, I'm not like you. I'm your ruler. But yeah. Ortho, hold on. Let me check the comments here. Ortho wants to call my former spiritual guru, not Jeremiah right, Jeremiah wrong. Got to tell you, that's kind of funny in a comedic way. But look, there's nothing funny about the evils of America. And, that's why we spent so much time getting millions of people in here. Just tear down that statue. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down a statue of somebody from 200 years ago. They don't need to know history or where we came from. They just need to know they should feel ashamed and, sit down, shut up, and let our Democrat Party just steamroll you into just a miserable experience. Insane. I could do the whole show as Barry. I just love the cadence. I really do. David says, I'm so sick and tired of all this corruption. Yeah, me too. Mark says the Bass Pro Shop in Nashville is an actual pyramid. Yeah, what was it before? Yeah, and then Bass Pro Shops, is that their headquarters now? Memphis? I think it's Memphis. Or it's Nashville. It might be Memphis, actually. Hold on a second. I said I was done. Kenneth said, I said my, my Secret Service code name was Renegade. And you said, do you mean Renegade? Now, come on. Look, just, come on. Just because Joan Rivers said what she said and Larry Sinclair said what he said, and that UFC fighter said, Michelle Obama, I heard all that. That may or may not be true, but I'm not even going to entertain that. I find that to be pretty childish. Why is it? I'm not getting into this issue. But if I dressed at Halloween as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, would I put anything on my face? What color would that be? If I dressed up as Sting or what was it, the Crow? Or a mime? Would I use face paint? Would I put face paint on my face? I believe I dressed up as Michael Jackson for Halloween one year. I've heard Steven Crowder talk. What did he dress up as? Mr. T or something? I don't know. I've never got this whole, you can't ever use paint on your face. Unless you're the multi-billion-dollar cosmetics industry. Oh, no, you can paint your face whatever you want, but not that color. It's just face paint. We're all just acting. Anyway, look, let's put all this Obama talk away. And, you know, the point of this video, we got to get to this video. It's just, you know, people from across the, you know, by the way, when I do that stutter, it's very intentional. I don't know if you're picking up on that, but when he's off cue card, you know, it's a lot of stammering. If you know, I don't have a teleprompter, you know, look, a lot of people think I'm smart because I'm reading things pre-selected, you know, very carefully put up on that screen. I'm a really good actor. Ask my wife. Stop, I'm joking. Anyway, I'm just loving this content. And it's so nice to see America not just running around the world on a, I almost swore, a GD, a effing apology tour, talking about how bad we suck. No. America's awesome. And if you hate America, you suck. I want that energy right into my veins. So the Brits are coming over and they're just, the European mind cannot comprehend is the point.
This is scary. Look at the size of that big boy. I think James has bought me a present and it's ready for me here. James, did you buy it for me? Where's James gone? Can you see him? I can't see him anywhere. They even have a pew range inside of this huge shop, as well as all these grills here.
Okay, I knew that this shop sold a lot of items. I did not realise that they sold boats, side-by-sides, and quad bikes. What in the world? This place is insane.
Is this the actual size of a moose, guys? If so, wow.
You could spend way too long in this shop. Like, it's absolutely incredible.
In front of me, guys, I'm not allowed to show it on TikTok, but I'm looking at a bunch of pew-pews and other stuff, which is insane. I'm in shock. I'm lost for words. This place. Okay, now you can see the pure scale size of this place.
Bass Pro Shop.
Just the Germans driving across the country can't believe it. They're just day after day. I keep scrolling and it's just people in for the World Cup going, oh my gosh, this is incredible. I got this dude I'm friendly with, ended up getting him a ticket to a Cleveland Browns game. His name's Paul Brown from the UK. He's traveling across. He's driving, I don't know, from Vegas through Texas, and it's just him documenting all these American things. And it's so tough to fathom what America is and how beautiful it is. That's what de Tocqueville wrote about, just the beauty of America and experiencing it. It's just so nice to not have a president that actively hates this country. I mean, it's night and day. So I love it. I'm here for this content. You'll be seeing more.
So the symptoms are, I think, people.
Speaking of people who hate America, their symptoms. This is Benedict Beckeld on oikophobia, the disease that's tearing America apart.
People will, if I give some examples, people will immediately recognize. The most extreme case would be when.
Whoop! I just wanted to follow because I don't know.
So the symptoms are, I think, people will, if I give some examples, people will immediately recognize. The most extreme case would be when people tear down statues of our founding fathers, for example, almost literally uprooting the foundation of our culture, saying that they were all horrible racists and slave owners and whatnot, evil capitalists or what have you. And that's a very obvious kind of example. But then you even find it, the sotto voce remark by the water cooler about how Americans are so dumb and Europeans are sophisticated and refined and so on.
Indoctrinated and neutered.
One which would come as a surprise to those of us who have lived in many European countries. And there are all kinds of people, sophisticated and not, in both Europe and America. So both continents, all continents offer different kinds of people. So and everything in between, right? So this kind of idea that if something is wrong in the world, it's probably America's fault. Now that's the American oikophobia. Obviously, we have a similar type of oikophobia in Europe as well. Europeans who think that Europe is the fount of all evil. They'll usually hate America as well, to be sure. That's kind of hating America is de rigueur, obviously. But here in America, we would consider basically the further away something is from America, the better. So Europe is better than America, but Asia or Africa, those are the really wonderful places. So it's
a whole mind virus, and it's not in the White House. I don't need this president, this administration, or the Republicans to be perfect. There's no such thing in politics. But I'll tell you what, Democrats are not allowed near any lever of power ever again. I've seen enough in my lifetime. I'm done with them.
So the symptoms are...
Okay. UFC.
I got to say it, UFC 250, huge hit. I'm not even a huge UFC fan. I'll watch some of the fights, but I'm going to tell you, that last fight with Justin Gaethje against Topuria, the 5-1 favorite, the champion, the guy that there's no way he's going to lose, but we're going to make it the co-main event because we know that Gaethje can be dangerous, and he wants it, and he's hungry. What an absolutely epic night. Epic fight. Every fight didn't go to a decision. They all were TKOs or knockouts or whatever. I'm not even a huge UFC fan. I'm going to tell you, Justin Gaethje winning that fight against Topuria, not only was it exciting because he's so pro-America, it's on the White House lawn, but he also was a huge underdog. He wasn't supposed to win that fight, and he was losing early, and he came back. No better place for somebody with that level of patriotism to win than on the White House lawn. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, how dare we have this on the White House? How could we do something so disgusting? I'm not going to lie, the last administration did some really weird stuff on the White House lawn with topless people. So decorum is out the window. What this is, I'm not going to lie, it's as American as it comes.
Yes, it's as American as it gets, people. Ken said, well, in the restroom, some dude asked me if I was from overseas. I said, why? He said, because I see European. Thank you. I'll see myself out.
This guy thanked the soldiers afterward. We got to have the fireworks displayed, the pomp, the circumstance, and the absolute best comeback I've ever seen in the UFC against somebody that it was phenomenal. You can't beat that kind of fight. And all the fights were good. All the fights were really good. First time in history that a UFC card didn't have a single fight that ended by decision.
That's wild. Yeah, the Gaethje fight, you can be down, you can be the underdog, you can barely make it to the end of the round. But remember, if there's still breath in your lungs, you can still fight back. What an American hero story. If there's still breath in your lungs, you can fight and you can win. That's why I'm not going to be blackpilled. We can be annoyed with the Epstein stuff, and we could be outraged by the lack of more transparency, despite the fact that this is the only administration that took him down, imprisoned him, and he's allegedly deceased, and released trillions of files, but no amount is ever enough to cover up the Clinton stuff because Trump might or might not. We can be critical of Iran. We could be concerned about our economy. We can have a 1,000 legitimate gripes, grievances, and outrages. And question marks. Things we don't know what's happening. Things we don't know why. We don't know why we're not getting more info. Lots of questions. But my God. After dangling over the precipice like Suge Knight holding Vanilla Ice by the ankles off a balcony, allegedly. If there's breath in our lungs, we have a chance to save this country. Because we were almost ready to flatline as a nation. Almost ready to flatline as a nation. But we're still fighting. We're fighting back, and I think we won. I think we're winning. I think we have won. It's just the reveal has been just painfully slow. I'll believe it when I see it, but I'm not going to be a black pill show. If we have breath in our lungs, we have a chance. We got a chance to fix this shit. And it's been shit. This globalist bullshit where, just think about medicine real quick. Just think about medicine. Well, somebody think of the children. Think of the medicine. In America, we've had to pay way more than we're supposed to for medication. You know why? Because we've had to subsidize everybody else's medication. We pay the highest. We paid, past tense. Now we have, what, like favored nation status, or I forget what they call it, something like favored nation status. We pay always the lowest. No, you cannot sell it for a cheaper price than you sell it for in America. Nope. You used to be able to go get a pill for $5 and it would be $100 over here, $5 and $20. Whatever it is, we were getting screwed because we've had it too good for too long. And this is an illegitimate country built on the backs of Somalians or something. You know, what the hell are you talking about? That's okay. They were just stealing our wealth, our prosperity, our future, our nation, our civil rights, our civil liberties, our way of life. And that's all been reversed. A lot of things can be reversed. So if we still have breath, we still have a chance.
Every single one of them was just pound, pound, pound. And then that last one, so much ridiculous amount of blood. The other fighter, Poirier, just kept coming. Can't even see. So kudos on him. But to this man right here, to do that on that stage, to shock the world, for Justin Gaethje, you, sir, made me a bigger UFC fan. Went from lukewarm to that was the most epic fight I have ever seen. On the White House lawn, right place to do it. You can hate me for saying that, but that was epic.
Well said.
Word.
All right, let's check in on Jeff Metcalf about the Carmelo Anthony supporters. Yeah. Imagine having your son murdered by a monster who initiated the problem, kept going with the problem. I believe he left and came back with a weapon to what? Prove a point? Dave Chappelle had this skit when keeping it real goes wrong. Yeah, man, I'm going to be tough. I'm going to say what I got to say. I'm going to do what I got to do, you know? When keeping it real goes wrong. It's like, no, you should have left. You shouldn't have started a fight. You should have not initiated and done all the terrible things you did. Oh, yeah, but you kept it real. Oh, yeah, I manned up. Real big, real strong. Look, I showed him. 35 years in prison for Carmelo Anthony. Now they got problems. They're attacking his family.
Weren't these people grasping that justice was served here?
You'd have to ask them. My opinion is they are of low IQ, no moral compass whatsoever, blinded by race, and generally a nuisance to society.
Jeff, you've said you forgave Carmelo Anthony after he took your son's life. Tell me about that. What was going through your mind, your heart, your soul on that?
Well, I've said this multiple times over in many interviews. Forgiveness is actually for me. So I don't carry the hate, the rage, the anger.
That is exactly, speaking of Chappelle, I watched Iconoclasts on the Sundance TV channel back in mid-2000s. Great show. They would just take two super famous people and put them together. Like Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam and Laird Hamilton, the professional surfboarder, or Maya Angelou, the poet and civil rights leader, with Dave Chappelle. Do I have a Chappelle impersonation? I've met him twice. I actually got to hang out on a street corner in Yellow Springs, Ohio, smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee with Dave Chappelle for like a half hour. Just shooting the shit with my dad, just hanging out, chain smoking cigarettes and talking to Dave Chappelle. I don't think I'd do a Dave impersonation. But in this one, Dave and Maya Angelou were talking about the civil rights era, and he says, well, I could do a Dave Chappelle impersonation, but I'd have to hear it. Dan Soder does maybe some of the best impersonations. Look up Dan Soder, S-O-D-E-R. Macho Man Randy Savage. His Chappelle. Great impersonations. But he says to Maya, he says, well, weren't you angry all the civil rights leaders, Bobby Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all assassinated while in the 60s while you were. And she goes, oh, David, well, yes, I was angry, but I can't carry that around. I can't carry that anger with me. David, that anger is a cancer. It would do nothing to the object I'm angry at, but it would ruin me if I held on to it. Yep, Marion, you are absolutely correct. That's the most correct way to state that. Forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for yourself.
Because if you carry something like that inside you and you don't release it, it's like cancer. It's going to eat you up from the inside out. It's going.
I feel like this dude listened to this show with Maya Angelou and David. She kept calling him David Chappelle.
Going to consume you. And I'll be honest, look at these people. Are they consumed with, I mean, everyone has a right to protest. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But realistically, let's look at the facts. Let's look at the case. They have the right for an appeal. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. This case was ironclad. And people don't understand in the appeals, they're looking for procedural errors. They're not going to retry the case. They're not going to introduce new evidence. There's not any new testimony or new facts that are going to come out when they review this case for appeal. So, but the actions of these people outside the courthouse, I don't have to say a word. Their character shows through, and that's all I'll say. And to be honest, every video I've seen is a certain demographic. I don't see other people acting like this, but that's who they choose to be. As long as they stay in their lane, I'm okay. Just don't come in my lane.
Jeff, thank you for saying that.
Weren't.
So
Weren't.
that's happening. All right. Let's bounce over here to our X. Pause. Switch. There we go. Never cave into your club's dress code. No, it's the ortho quote. Never leave your cave without your club. I see what you did there, though. Hey, clerk, I'll have one of them there soda on the shelf, please. You know, now I'm going to pull it up for you. I want to show you how good this impersonation is. I hate him. Oh, I know I can do a Chappelle. I gotta like find the rhythm. Let's see. Jamie, pull up Dan Soder as Chappelle. Enjoy.
How this all originated was I used to do Charles Manson quotes as Dave Chappelle smoking a cigarette.
Please give us one of those.
Now you got to understand something. Animals shouldn't be hunted, and nature shouldn't be disturbed, even destroyed, to benefit the whims of mankind.
You can see him smoking and holding.
He's reading Charles Manson quotes as Dave Chappelle.
What is Chappelle? Fear of Vikings builds castles. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what it is. I know and understand you much more. Yeah, but Macho Man, it works way better.
Okay.
I used to do Charles Manson quotes as Dave Chappelle smoking a cigarette.
Please give us one of those.
Now you got to understand something. Animals shouldn't be hunted.
I don't want to watch the same one. Hold on. Come on. One more, Soder. No. That's the last one. Okay. I'll just show you how great this dude is. With his Macho Man. By the way, the guy sitting next to him is fantastic too. Will Sasso.
Hogan and Macho doing Andy Rooney quotes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone wants to live on top of a mountain. Yeah. But all the happiness and growth, it occurs while you're climbing it. Yeah. Tell them, Hulkster.
Well, let me tell you something, dude. It's paradoxical, brother, that the
idea of living a long life appeals to everyone, but the idea of getting old doesn't appeal to anyone, dude.
It's so much fun listening to these two. And this guy just like doesn't, I don't know what his podcast is, but it's a lot of wrestling quotes with these guys.
If you smile, yeah, if you smile when you're alone, then you really mean it. Yeah, dig it.
You got that right, Macho. It's best to give advice in only 2 circumstances, dude. When it's requested and when it's a life-threatening situation, brother.
I've loved the opportunities. I'll never lost. Someone will take the loss. You miss.
Well, the federal government has sponsored research that has produced a tomato that is perfect in every respect, except that you can't fucking eat it. We should make every effort to make sure that this disease, often referred to as progress, doesn't fucking spread.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Everyone knows that the best classroom in the world is at the feet of the elderly person. Yeah. Respect your elders.
How about Arnold?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, did you ever hear one of these corny positive messages in someone's answering machine? Hi, it's a great day and I'm out enjoying it right now. I hope you are too. The thought for the day is to share the love. Beep. Yeah, this is a VD clinic.
Yeah. They go.
Speaking of something positive, your test is back. Stop sharing the love.
Yeah. They're like, Rodney, we understand that the character makes fun of itself. Could you be positive? He goes, hey, I'm going to tell you something I always learned. Always keep your words soft and sweet, just in case you have to eat them. Hey, and if I got it, I got a diet of words. Yeah, my diet's all words.
My wife uses fabric softener. I never know what that stuff is for, you know. Then I noticed women coming up to me, sniffing, then saying under their breath, married, and they walk away. Fabric softener is how wives mark their territory. We can take off the ring. We can take off the ring, but it's hard to get the April fresh scent out of your clothes.
Oh my God! You thank God bless. All right.
That's Will Sasso on the right and Dan Soder on the left. I just love impressions. I love them so much. Yes, David, those are some great ones. He does a good, maybe the best Jesse Ventura. Let's see, Sasso and Ventura. I mean, you close your eyes on most of these, and they sound exactly like the other person. His Jesse Ventura is so good.
War is over, and
the Vietnam War never started.
What?
What?
What did you just say?
I said the Vietnam War started so that it could
You
never
said
end.
It never started. So it can.
What did I never said that?
I don't know.
Why don't you tell me what I said?
I don't fucking know. I'm trying to follow
tell
you,
me.
Jesse.
I'll tell you what I said.
What did you say?
I said the Vietnam War was started by chimpanzees.
That is factually incorrect.
It's factually true. What would you know? Why don't you tell me what
I
happened?
am telling you that
you
that's...
weren't there. Why? I watched Nixon sign an order.
So what did the chimps do? They started the war?
I wrestled Bob Backlund for 45 minutes in the Philadelphia Spectrum.
Well, fine, but that doesn't
to a
make
draw.
It doesn't make
so
you
why
right.
don't you tell me how
All
I
right,
don't know?
you know what?
Oh, that was a good sidebar. Thank you, everybody, for humoring me on that. Let's go over to the New American Media on X. Follow us at American_media_. I have to inject humor and laughter into my veins, or else I couldn't make it through the days. For real. Like I love comedy. I love laughing. Laughing is the best. I love smiling. Smiling's my favorite. Let me get one more. Is there one? Oh, here's another one. Okay, we'll do one more, and then we'll get on with it.
For your backyard barbecues, your pool parties, and your trips to the beach. What I'd really like to know is what actually happened at the Pentagon on 9/11. Everyone believes American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the building. But if you look at the debris pattern, the difficulty for an amateur pilot to crash a jetliner into a ground-based structure at that speed, and the cover-up of $2.3 trillion of unaccounted taxpayer money that was literally announced by Donald Rumsfeld the day before, you can only draw one conclusion. Enemy forces successfully launched an air-to-surface missile into the Pentagon, and the United States government covered it up to protect the illusion of military invincibility. Now, why don't you tell me what Old Navy has in stock for your pool party?
It's so spot on. You close your eyes and it's literally... Jesse Ventura. All right, let's go into X. Reminder, become a subscriber to support the New American Media if you like what we're doing over here. Patreon, go to the New American Media. Rumble, YouTube, become a subscriber, monthly subscriber. Or just toss us a standalone tip, Rumble, rant, tip, super chat tip, or Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, all scrolling at the bottom of the screen if you do it that way. Donald Rumsfeld. Well, that would be maybe if Joe Biden were doing it, sniffing and feeling all creepy like that. All right. Piers Morgan. Is that what you like to do? You like watching men battle each other on the White House lawn? Is that good for you? He said, I thought the UFC event at the White House was great, very different and entertaining. Thanks, Dana White and Donald Trump. And to my liberal friends shrieking in faux outrage about it, I say this. Pick your battles with Trump. This ain't a hill to hysterically die on. Agreed. See, Pierce was super nice to me when I met him, and I challenged him on his opinion. I told him I completely disagree with your views on the Second Amendment, but I appreciate the fact that you keep bringing it up on your show every night for good conversation. We talked for a bit, and he said, I appreciate that. Extended his hand. We shook hands over the bar. All right. They're trying to stop internet to kids, and that's the trick. They do a poison pill. Oh, no, we just want to make sure that if you're underage, you can't view certain sites. You go, well, then the parents need to opt their kids out per device. We shouldn't have to prove who we are so that you can track us and what we're looking at. No, thank you. That's not the way this is supposed to work. But Rupert Lowe, MP, says any attempt to impose mandatory digital ID will be fully repealed and scrapped and eradicated by a Restore Britain government. So let's hope Restore Britain can get their act together real quick. They want to, UK announces social media ban for under 16 years old. You know, the fun is in the details. They're asking a little man on the street, girl in the classroom kind of thing here.
Earlier we looked at screen time. What was your screen time over the weekend?
9 hours.
9 hours. So suddenly you're going to have a lot more time to fill. And what will you do?
Stare at a wall.
Stare at a wall. Okay. Earlier we
stare at a wall. Isn't it? I'm going to stare at a wall. Go outside, touch grass. Go do something. Russia Today says UK police are asking people not to share this video of a black teenager choking a white man, throwing him off a motorcycle. This 16-year-old was trying to steal the bike. The victim survived. The teen is in custody, but not expected to serve prison time. Huh? And as a general rule, if I'm told not to share a video, I'm sharing the video. You don't get to whitewash and cover this shit up. No, we don't do that. It's not what we do here. Why is this guy not fighting back? Dude, he's really going after this guy. No, I mean, this guy's been trained. He's trying to kill him. He's trying to submit him. He's trying to choke the oxygen off from his brain to tap him out, to pass him out. That's not good to see. Politics UK says, and Russell Brand retweeted, a Ukrainian national and a Romanian national found guilty of setting fire to Keir Starmer's home and car. Can't say that I agree with that, but Keir Starmer's a traitor to the nation. What do you do to traitors of your nation? You certainly vote them out of office. You impeach them. You charge them with their crimes. You replace them with a government that's going to actually protect you and not defile you. I'm going to 9 hours. What were you going to do at that time? I'm going to stare at ghosts. I'm going to stare at goats. Remember that movie, The Men Who Stare at Goats? George Clooney and who else was in that one? Yeah, exactly, Marion. Go outside, play, walk, sit, watch birds, walk a dog, do something. Just get outside. I lived outside. Basketball, baseball, football, gardening, building forts, riding bikes, making paths in the woods. Like, I just go. I lived outside. Daily Caller put this out, making DC safe and beautiful again. Right Side and Free shared it. 22 fountains have been repaired, 28 statues repaired, 500 graffiti instances removed, 134 rat-resistant trash cans installed, 150 potholes repaired, 250 truckloads of debris from ponds has been removed, 1,143 benches were installed, 1,695 lights were installed, 45 monuments and memorials were cleaned, 6 new statues installed. Good. That's all you got. You know, the men who date goats. Well, there's some of that, and I do not want to hang out with those people. No. You read this, and it's like it was like the punch list of 15 years of me being in Los Angeles. Painted 25 buildings, installed 7 new roofs, installed new copper piping on 11 buildings, did 1 concrete driveway, did 4 asphalt driveways, power washed all the laundry rooms, renovated 25 laundry rooms, installed 20 outdoor gardens with drip irrigation systems. Like I've said, pride is one of the deadly sins. You're not supposed to be prideful. But man, I look back with, what's the opposite of shame? Pride? No. Less shame. I think that's a Simpsons joke. But yeah, if you actually care, you're going to fix things. Good for them. Good for them. Well, President Trump is considering a full takeover of Washington, D.C. if the leftist socialist Democrat wins the mayoral election. Uh-oh.
Is Democrat socialist Janice Lewis-George, and President Trump is threatening another D.C. takeover if she wins in November.
And maybe we'll take back Washington, run it on the federal basis. We won't put up with it. We're not going to lose our businesses. By the way, Washington now is a safe, beautiful place. We have a thriving community. We got rid of the crime. We're 92% down on crime. Think of it. And we're going to be close to 100%.
Lewis-George responding in part, quote, threatening home rule because you do not like how residents vote is an attack on democracy itself. The people of D.C. elect the mayor of D.C., and they want someone who will stand up to Donald Trump.
Oh, shut up with your, this is all they do. They're standing up to Trump. God, Adam Carolla rails on this all the time. I'm standing up to Trump. I'm standing up to, I'm going to fight. Yeah, that's how you get your Jacob Preddies and your whatever the other Renee Goods. You get stupid, unnecessary loss of life that way. Stand up to Trump. How about clean your city of the crime, of the filth, of the low expectations? So we'll see. Oh, okay. Here's some video. This is neat. MAGA voice says there was no rain, not windy at all, absolutely zero mosquitoes or flies. Just a perfect event put on for every American patriot. Happy Freedom 250. Thank you, President. I don't know if I can even have that music. That looks like a country that's not ashamed to be our country. I like that. President Trump. Oh, is this a report? Let me press play. We got audio. Eric Daughtry says President Trump announces a massive Trump rally at the Lincoln Memorial July 4th after the June 24th America 250 concert. Trump will be launching the largest fireworks show in history at the end of it. LFG, it's going to be massive. Incredible flyovers and air shows, top military pilots and equipment, delivering keynote remarks that you won't want to miss. Largest fireworks show in history. Cool. Joe Rogan watches a video claiming America's nonprofit hospitals made $45 billion in profit in 2023. They brought in $1.3 trillion in revenue, received billions in taxpayer support, and still provided little to no charity at 86% of nearly 1,500 hospitals studied. One New York hospital executive allegedly paid himself $15.3 million. Joe's reaction: mother effers. Yeah, fix this. In the comments, one of you said that a minute ago, that the whole medical industry is a mess. I agree. Check out our last show, Fauci-funded biolabs, Iran war winding down, UFC 250, and World Cup kicks off on Rumble and YouTube. Spencer Pratt points out there's still nothing from the El Segundo Times. If arsonists set fire to one of the other mayoral candidates' offices in the middle of counting ballots, do you think they'd have reported on it? ABC 7 says authorities investigating a fire that broke out at former LA mayoral candidate Spencer Pratt's campaign office in the Pacific Palisades. By the way, he's not a former candidate. They're still counting. The story is that there's plenty of votes that have not been cured, people who voted and their votes haven't been counted. I don't know that we're done on this. We'll see. The New American Media. There we go. New American Media wrote, ABC has the gall to say a fire broke out? Give us a break. This is most likely Democrat political terrorism, and we know it would have been reported as such if Bassar Rahman's office was set ablaze. You don't loathe lying legacy media enough. And Heidi Montag is full of love for her husband, very proud of him. What an inspiration, what a hero. Check this out. Karen Bass's brother teams up with Spencer Pratt, suing his sister for reckless negligence that led to the destruction of our homes. I hope their Thanksgiving dinner isn't too awkward. I know ours hasn't been the same since last year. This guy went viral. San Antonio Spurs guy. The Skycam angle of the Spurs final boss is even crazier. It's unbelievable crowd control. Yeah, sports, everybody. Spurs fan and a Knicks fan. this. Look at the crowd. Nobody wants a part of this guy.
Nobody wants to stay and fight, though. Nobody's trying. I'm not trying.
Someone said he's an MMA guy.
Oh, they wild. Oh, shit.
He's having a good time. I don't know, I'm just like enthralled by this. Yeah, get that face.
Oh, shit.
Full in a China shop. In the spur of the moment.
We smoking your man!
You're like, nope, you're not going back.
Fuck this man! Fuck this man! Fuck this man!
I don't know. I don't like violence at sporting events like that. I've been at them, and I've had people that I was with at games try to drag me into fights, and I'm like, this is stupid. But yeah, he went on a rampage. He absolutely did. Anyway, I don't know. I could tell you more about the peace deal with Iran, but nothing's signed yet. Let's see what happens. Other stories, I don't know. That's what I wanted to get into for today's program. So thank you for being here. I don't even know what to make of today's show. It's been a long week. I'm happy to get back at it. Like I've said 100 times, this is too many drunk people, a lot of stoned people, and a lot of there's this mob mentality where you saw it a couple times. Someone loves running in from the back and taking a cheap shot. You see this on 6-on-1, 8-on-1 fights. You've seen them. I've played them for you way too many times. But that dude held his own, man. He was just like, let's go. Nobody wanted a piece of him. I just found that awesome. So yeah, hit the thumbs up button if you haven't yet. Share the show with your friends. Invite some more people to the bar tomorrow. And your final reminder, consider subscribing on Patreon, YouTube, and Rumble if you want to become like a $60 yearly member. It's as little as $5 a month. I get like 80% of that or something once they take the fees out. If you want to shoot me something directly, Venmo, Cash App, it's just my name, Brian Engelman, PayPal, fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com, or Rumble Rant or Super Chat standalone tips. We'll be back tomorrow trying to get recalibrated after it's just been a lot. It's been a lot for a week. NHL champion, NBA champion, UFC champions. We got through all that, and we'll see what the news has in store for us tomorrow. Signing out on behalf of everybody out there in the TNAM universe, and especially all of you regulars hanging out here in my bar that may or may not get added to our TNAM softball team by our TNAM meme team, John. I appreciate you. I love you, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.
guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.